Hey everybody, Texas Danny, and a quick minute from the pizza parlor here in Texas. Okay, today is what? Wednesday, November the 17th, 2021. Okay, I just had a look at the Great Plains states quickly, and Nebraska is still a show. Nebraska is still increasing in her effects. She's still showing water movements in her terrain, one way or the subsurface, or how the farmland changes according to the quantum effects. Remember, everybody, my spiel, one that I keeps on going with, is it's H2O. H2O, water. Water is a key element. Not the only element, but it's important. Very important. Okay, also I'd like to mention Mandela quantum effects. Did a look at the maps as well and was asking some questions. We've got things going on everywhere. We've got things going on with Greenland. We've got things going on with the Arctic. When you look at different pictures with the Arctic, sometimes you will see some significant sea ice. I mean, there's a sea ice pack up there, and it can look quite white if you go to the right pictures, okay? It's only a faint representation of the old Earth and what old Earth used to look like. The Arctic Ocean here, and where we had the Arctic, we had Antarctica up there. Antarctica was, for me, it was never a hard land continent, but it was an incredibly thick dome of ice up there, okay? And now what do we have? We have Svalbard in there. And you used to see Norway and Sweden and all that. The Nordics used to be really icy. And of course, northern Russia, northern Alaska, northern Canada, even the top of Hudson Bay was covered with ice. Even though icebreakers went into Hudson Bay quite a bit, there was a travel lane into Hudson Bay, so they got down further into Canada. But still, the situation that we have is we are dynamic, we're fluid. We got some more action coming into Kansas. Our actions are everywhere. Sharkatan Na out of Arkansas mentioned that he saw on one of his map globes some changes to the off of the Baja California and western Mexico, and I'm seeing it too. Western Mexico is losing its coast, and it's losing its coast fast, everybody. F-A-S-T, fast. Also, Lucky Bulger over in Ireland, and now he was on some other subjects, which I'd like to get with him on that later, but he's looked in his maps before, and Lucky over in Ireland has seen a lot of the changes that have taken place and that kind of thing with the Earth. Water is active right now, big time, active. I'm even kind of trying some nice kind of side hints to the authorities. I don't think it's going anywhere, never going to get official with this channel on that kind of situation, because I don't think it'll add up to anything. Everything gets updated. One thing I was making a point, if I do anything, if I did something and I did it in August of 2018, and I took videos of my 2012 North American Atlas in 2018, right, which is becoming quite dilapidated. The paper's really giving way quick. When I do the checks on there, it's going to update to, say, October 2021. So if you look at it and you were looking at October 2021, you're going to be going, what is this guy talking about? It's the exact maps that are for here now. If he took these back in 2018, they should be different. One way to deal with that is taking the inanimate object, right, like a pencil, an eraser, a pen, something that you know the relative accurate size of, and you put that in right on top of the surface in scale, right, to the exact scale, not something that changes, like Google Earth, up and down, up, in and out. You've got to have it at the same cell, and then you'll note the towns relative to each other and the places and the spaces and that kind of thing like that, and it will tend to keep that form because you've marked it and you've observed it, right? But our measurements are not adding up. They're not adding up. I want to mention that about 5 weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago at the most, maybe a month, 6 weeks, somewhere in that area, Afghanistan was quite in the news. Now, Afghanistan has a lot going on with it right now, a tremendous amount going on with Afghanistan right now. What is occurring is we have some distance radiuses closing, okay? Because I happen to, it was either from Sky News or the BBC correspondent was talking about, well, they're telling people to walk from one place in Afghanistan to another to apply to be relieved and removed from the country, right? Well, she said, how would you like to say walk the distance between London and Manchester? Well, compared to now, that distance used to be quite considerable, quite considerable. 'Cause I happened to look it up years ago, pre-jumped, right, and it was hundreds and hundreds of miles. At that time, I went ahead and measured it. You know what it turned out to? 225 between London and Manchester, England. Okay, 225, which was nothing compared to what it was before. Nothing. Okay, real closed in. And yet, it's even closer now. I invite you to check the distance between London, England, and then Manchester. Two big, enormous cities, right? And I had always wanted to go to England, and of course you're going to see London, but I thought, where else? I said, well, see a big city. Well, everybody's heard of Manchester, so I thought, Manchester, right? Okay, and I measured it years and years ago just to see. And that distance well, it was hundreds. I said, there's no, even if I could brave driving in the UK, which I don't think I could, I said, you got to go by plane to go up there. Now it's drivable, and it's been reduced by hundreds and hundreds of miles, people. It used to be something like 700 miles. Yeah, but that's the Earth story right now. That's Earth story. Okay, Texas Danny out. Bye-bye.